Thank you everyone for joining our first virtual continuing ed session. We will have these monthly on various topics. Tonight we are presenting Kiwanis in the Current World, and it will be presented by our new virtual content chair, Brittany McCartney. I want to introduce her. She is a member, she's a former Key Clubber and also a Kiwanis member from the Kiwanis Club of Edinburgh. She lives in Meadville. Her career is a Girl Scout program specialist. So she works with the Girl Scouts of Western Pennsylvania. So we're thrilled to have her on board as one of our chairs, and she will be handling all the various continuing ed sessions that we're going to have in the month. But tonight she will present on Kiwanis in the Current World. So Brittany, I'd like to give it over to you.
Thank you, Sarah. So as Sarah said, tonight we're going to talk about Kiwanis in the current world. Things are vastly different than they were in March of 2020. Throughout the night, there will be opportunities for you to share what your club is doing, how the pandemic has changed the way your club focuses on the community and serving the community and the children. So on the agenda for tonight, we have Pennsylvania club standings, in-person, virtual, and hybrid options, and then clubs around the district where everyone will have the chance to share what their club is doing. Last year, the lieutenant governors for the district did a survey with each club on whether they were meeting or not meeting, what projects they were doing, and if they were staying in contact with the district. In May of 2020, 58 clubs were meeting and 106 were not meeting. January 2021, those numbers kind of flip-flopped, and we had 99 clubs meeting and 62 not meeting. Governor Sarah will be asking the lieutenant governors to do an updated survey to see what clubs are doing now. We do anticipate that more clubs are meeting than that 99 from in January. The new normal is something that we're starting to hear a lot more about. So what does the new normal mean for you, for your family, for your club, and for your community? For some people, life has completely changed. For others, it stayed the same with a little bit more technology. I know personally for my family, a lot has changed since March of 2020, but not a lot of it due to COVID and the pandemic. Our club of Edinburgh, we have changed quite a bit since March of 2020. Would anyone like to share just a little about how their new normal is looking? Anyone?
You can raise your hand.
This can be personally for your club or for your community. What is something that you've just adapted to? Yeah, Sarah put in the chat to feel free to raise your hand. Can we? All right. And then, so in-person, hybrid, or virtual? Oh, we have some hands. All right, let's go with Barb, because you're just top of my screen there.
Hi, everybody. I'm from the Kiwanis Club of Sheridan, and we've been doing a lot of pivoting. In the beginning of the pandemic, we actually met just virtually, and then we tried a hybrid, and now we are meeting in person and have been for probably about the last year. Some of our service projects had to be canceled, but then we kind of went back to the drawing board, and some of them we've modified to be able to make them as able to occur as possible. I know we did like a to-go pancake breakfast, or Kids Day could not be held at the school last year, so we held it a smaller version of our Kids Day where we meet with first responders and stuff. We did that in a smaller parking lot. We did a lot of like, instead of doing our Easter egg hunt, we had bags of candy we passed out to the kids. So we really tried to be creative. We did an online biggest bedtime story. So we really try to look at the programs and service projects that we have and how can we do this? How can we make this safe to do, but not do them? And some we've had to cancel. So it really was just trying to just think outside the box a little bit and be flexible.
I think being flexible is the biggest part of the new normal. Before we were used to our routines and things have changed. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
And then Tiffany.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tiffany Kaleo. I'm in the Wyoming area Kiwanis Board. So our biggest problem probably was meeting as well. We did almost a full year, maybe a little bit more of virtual. And then during the summertime, when it started getting nice out, we went outside to have meetings. But then when we started to go back in, we realized that the place that we normally would meet at is a restaurant / bar, and they're now closed during the week and only open on weekends. So our biggest thing was trying to figure out a place to meet inside, and there's not many restaurants / bars that have places. So, and on top of it, we ended up getting an 18-year-old to join the club this summer. So the place that we were going to start going to is a complete bottle shop bar and doesn't allow anyone under 21 or over 20. Oh yeah, under 21. So we had to just scramble and try to, like Barb said, like think out the box. And we found a community home that we're going to do our first meeting there, and then the second meeting be able to go to the bottle shop. So at least give members an option to have a meal and a drink at one of them. Was that?
All right. And then Mark. Oh, Mark, I think you're muted.
How about now?
Now you're good.
I'm from the Bordentown Club. We're from New Jersey, but we're on the river, so we're close to PA. What I wanted to tell Sarah is that, and you guys, is that we're back to what we did 5 years ago. So what is new is actually old. When we started our club, we did one in-person meeting and one virtual meeting. We went with before COVID to all in-person meetings, and now we're back to one-on-one again because it makes it easier for everybody.
Yes. Just recycling good ideas. And then Patty.
Hi, I'm from the Edinburgh Kiwanis Club, and I guess we're very lucky in that we didn't have to drop any of our service projects. We even added a new one last summer where we put together activity packages, 12 weeks of activities for the kids, and gave them out to the parents. That went over very well, and it was no contact. You know, we let them register in advance and we gave them the bags by just handing off a bag. Fundraisers were a little down. We couldn't do those, but things like bug and handing out dictionaries, we just kept doing it. We would just, and learning guides too. We just took them to the schools and asked them to distribute for us. And we did videos to accompany each one of them. So as far as meetings go, we are still meeting online. Although tomorrow night we will be discussing meeting in person again. Again, just like Tiffany, the trouble was finding a place. The restaurant where we always met has decided they don't want us there anymore, which we can't blame them because he opened up on a Tuesday morning at 7:30 just for us. So it's not worth it for him or for us to pay him to open up special. But we are looking at meeting, at least we're down to 2 meetings a month as opposed to once a week like it used to be. But we're looking at one of those meetings to be in person, and then the board meeting and the second meeting would be online. You'll find that out tomorrow night, Brittany.
Thank you. All right, thank you everyone for sharing. There'll be more opportunities to share and discuss as a group and network. So how do you know when to resume in-person events or meetings? As Patty said, our club really struggled with this. We had probably 3 months of this being the hot topic at our meetings. We finally surveyed our members. surveying your members to see who is comfortable with in-person meetings, who is interested in staying virtual or hybrid, and if there needs to be a change in meeting dates, times, or location. Our club decided to change it up. We went from 4 meetings a month to 2 meetings a month. We changed the time to accommodate some teachers and people who work at 7:30 in the morning, and we changed our location. And our club is thriving with those changes. And so that is always something to keep in mind. And then here's a statement from Kevin. This is on the Pennsylvania website, the Kiwanis website, that as clubs continue to resume in-person meetings and resume service projects and fundraising activities, the district would like to remind all Kiwanis clubs and Kiwanis members across Pennsylvania to follow all CDC and Pennsylvania Department of Health guidelines as they relate to all such activities. This includes adequate social distancing and face mask wearing wherever and whenever possible, as well as proper sanitation techniques if necessary. We should all seek to avoid a Kiwanis meeting, project, or fundraiser from being an occasion where COVID-19 is transmitted. So this is just a reminder to continue to follow all safety precautions put out there by Kiwanis, by the state and local officials, as COVID is still in the communities. If your club decides to remain virtual, you can always reach out to the Pennsylvania Kiwanis E-Club. Kathy, I did not ask you about this, but I figured they could always reach out to you since you're always virtual and you do virtual projects and fundraisers, all sorts of things. And then interclub. You can also interclub virtually, not just in person. So if there's another club that is meeting virtually, ask them to join their meeting or invite them to your meeting. The Centennial Internet Club is also virtual. I know the Edinburgh Club, we've actually had a few new members that ended up joining other clubs that joined our club just to see what Kiwanis is all about. So if you have anyone in your community, that would be a great way to invite them. And then to beat Zoom fatigue, you can do more than just meet online. People tend to get bored when they're meeting on Zoom or any sort of virtual platform if all they do is log on, meet, log off. So you could host a happy hour and incorporate happy dollars in there as well. You can play a game. So there's virtual bingo and virtual scavenger hunts, which can actually be quite fun. So for a virtual scavenger hunt, you just put a list up on the screen of things for people to go find throughout their house or in the room that they are in. They can get pretty intense. And then hybrid. So hybrid is known as the best of both worlds. So true hybrid is when you meet and do service in person with an online option. Something to keep in mind with true hybrid and having that online option is to be aware of your surroundings. So sometimes if you are doing an in-person meeting and you have a laptop or a phone set up for people to Zoom in or call in, make sure everyone can hear and see the person if they are on Zoom, so that way they are included in the meeting. So some things to watch out with that is if you're at a restaurant, a busy park that's near a road, make sure there's good lighting, all of that you would do for a fully virtual meeting. You can meet online and do service in person. You can meet in person when COVID transmission numbers are below a certain point and that your club is comfortable with, or you can meet in person for one meeting and online for the other while doing the service in person as well. And then Kiwanis International has quite a few resources on their COVID-19 response page. And they have resources for recruiting in a time of online meetings, how to create a virtual fundraiser, and how to help your club thrive. The How to Help Your Club Thrive has information for both virtual and in person. And then Here is another chance for everyone to share what your club is doing as far as meetings, service events, social events, and how your club has changed or adapted. So before we do this, I just want to share a few things in the chat if you've not seen them. That Penny Myers Club does a bag and tag it auction, and they do virtual as well. The PA Action Kiwanis Club did a scavenger hunt on their quarterly virtual meeting, and they loved it. I'm personally a fan of scavenger hunts. They are always a blast when I've participated. And then Governor Sarah said, if you recall, in May at the district social, they did online Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortunes categories, and comedian. And then we do have a Zoom poll that we're going to put out here as well for everyone to vote, just so we kind of have an idea of who is doing what on the call. All right. All right, and question, what is bag and tag it? Can that be explained? Because I'm curious as well. Kenny, was that you that said about the bag and tag it?
It was.
Yes, could you share some about that?
Yeah, what we do is it's an auction, and members will put something in a bag, such as something they want to re-gift, or you're cleaning out your closets and you find crazy gifts and things like that, and you put a little saying on the outside of the bag, and then members will bid on that item, and whoever wins it at the highest price, of course, that little treasure is now theirs. And those monies we do use for our administrative account, because it's only Kiwanians that are doing it. So it's kind of fun, because you never know what's in those bags.
That is definitely unique. Ooh, okay. There we go. All right. So then if anyone else would like to raise their hand and then share what their club is doing, how their club has changed or adapted, and we can call on you.
It looks like most people are meeting in person now, are starting to get back, or doing a split. So that was good. That's like what we expected.
That was about what we expected. All right. So Deborah said that the Chambersburg Evening Kiwanis did hybrid meetings earlier this year with a game at the end of each meeting. And currently they are meeting in person with lottery at the end of the meeting. All right. Douglas, if you want to go ahead and share.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Doug Ho from the Mayor's Club, and we just changed venues for our meetings. The place we were located at wanted to social distance more, and they needed more space in their restaurant, and therefore we couldn't have the back room. It was at a Perkins. So we had to leave that facility. We found another local restaurant nearby that was willing to accommodate us. So we're back to meeting in person full time. And we have a extremely busy schedule coming up in the next 2 months. We just completed the rose sale last week, and we were more successful with that than we have been in the past. We sold 50 dozen roses, which was an all-time high for us. Also, we have our 70th anniversary coming up in December, so we're organizing a large party at a local country club, and we're looking forward to celebrating 70 years of Kiwanis and Emmaus. We have a road cleanup scheduled for 2 or 3 weeks from now, on a Saturday morning. And something new we're trying, we're going to try a member recruitment event, sort of like an open house at a local microbrewery that opened up downtown in Emmaus. So we're sending out invitations through our website and through Facebook and some other social media paths. We're hoping to have 40 people as guests attend. And we set a goal this year for 8 new members in our club. Currently, we're at about 35. We'd really like to get over 40 for sure. And we've been very busy planning for both the 70th anniversary and the meet and greet event coming up. Also, the big signature event that we have is our special needs party, which for the last 2 years now, we've had to change it to a drive-in event, drive-through event, instead of holding it in a facility. We had planned to go back to in-person. However, it was going to be held at a church, and they were limiting us to 30 guests for the party. And generally, we have approximately 75 people that attend. We will be doing it outside again as last time, and Santa Claus shows up and we hand the gifts into the car on a long pole with a basket on the end, which is about the best we can do right now under the circumstances. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for sharing. Those are all some great ideas. 8 new members will be awesome. Anyone else like to share?
Hi, this is Deb Wheeling from Chambersburg Evening Kiwanis, and I just wanted to share about an initiative that we're doing right now, which is the Thanksgiving Club dinner bag. We partnered with our sister club here in Chambersburg, the Noontime Club, and we dedicated and promised that we would do 50 bags that provides non-perishable items for 50 families for a Thanksgiving dinner. And then we're giving each individual family a $20 gift card that will pay for perishables, such as the meat or dairy products or fresh produce. We have more than met our goal of 50 bags. We're going to partner with the Chambersburg Central Presbyterian Church in distributing our bags through their diaper depot on the 20th of November. Certainly a worthwhile event, and we're excited about how successful we've been so far. Thanks.
And was that a project that you're starting this year?
Yes, it is. This is our
Awesome.
first year. So
That is
I'm
awesome.
excited. I think we could do some significant things in the future. Thanks.
Yes. Thank you for sharing. All right. Then I saw a hand here. Stephen. You're on mute.
Can you hear me
There you
now?
go. Yes.
Well, you didn't miss much. So I'm Steve Ganley from the Kiwanis Club of the Stroudsburgs. And first, I'd like to just mention to Doug that we will have at least 4 at your 70th anniversary. Okay. I also see a lot of my friends from New Jersey on this list, on this Zoom list. So hi, guys. Like everybody else, we've had an interesting year. Our major fundraiser is a pancake day that we have, which is our major fundraiser, raise over $10,000 a year. We didn't have it last year, but we still managed to make all of our normal donations and whatnot. We're having it this year again. It's been on and off because of COVID, but it's on for the 11th of December. We recently did have a paint and wine party at a local winery, which was a success not only financially, but everybody had a great time and everybody was just thrilled to be outside. We'll be putting together Thanksgiving baskets again, as we've done for the last few years. We have an ongoing backpack program with one of the local schools. And we are in the process of planning our 100th anniversary for next June. So we do have a few things going on. I may add that we, only for about a month did we stop meeting in person. We meet 4 times a month. Well, we meet every Wednesday. The first Wednesday is an evening meeting, the others are at noon. So it's been a struggle because we tried virtual for about a month. It wasn't working. Our meetings have only been about 6 to 9 people on average, which makes it difficult to have speakers come in because you feel embarrassed if you don't have a crowd for them to speak to. But, you know, little by little, we're getting back at it, and we're looking forward to our pancake breakfast in December. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for sharing, and congrats on the 100-year anniversary. Okay, and then Jill.
Hi, I'm Jill Solon. I'm from the Levittown Bristol Kiwanis Club, not too far from Bordentown. So we started out virtually. I think we missed one meeting out of our twice monthly meetings. So by the first meeting in April, we were up and running on virtually by Zoom. Also, some people got together at that time and struggled with what to do that could help the community while still staying virtual. So what we did was we started produce. We started buying and bagging produce, fresh produce for a food cupboard that we were already donating money to. So we have 2 food cupboards that we donate for fresh bread and eggs and milk every month. And then we added the fresh produce. So we're buying $300 worth of produce every other week. And we meet outside, and we did it all through last winter and all through the spring and summer, and we're going into this fall and winter. And we bag it up into family-sized portions or couple portions, and then we take it and we give it to them where we are. We're loading it right there, and they take it and distribute it. So that's what we started doing that we've continued. Additionally, we still did our Give a Christmas program, which is one that we do all of the time every year. But this year we raised about $150,000. So we exceeded any number that we've ever done before. We were able to sell 100 dozen roses. I must have my mind on food. 100 dozen roses, and 12 members came over and helped us package them and get them distributed. So that was really nice as well. We have just started meeting in person, but we also have a Zoom option so that people have a choice. And we were lucky to have Sarah come in and do our induction this past week at a restaurant. So that's where we are right now.
That is incredible. Is anyone else?
Oh, I have one more thing.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
We also had Bristol Day. Bristol Borough is a historic community along the river near us. And every year they have a Bristol Day where you can tour homes and that kind of thing, but a lot of vendors come out. And we were able, that was last Saturday, and we were able to give away 2,000 books to children. So
that's phenomenal. All right, and does anyone else have anything to share? All right. So here are a few of the upcoming continuing education opportunities. So on November 15th, we will have Kiwanis partnerships. On December 15th, there will be networking through service. And then on February 19th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. will be the Kiwanis mid-year. It will be virtual again this year. And the continuing education page on the Pennsylvania District website will house all of the recordings for those. If you're not able to attend them, you can always see the recordings afterwards. And then if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them now. And then there is my email if you have anything to share after the meeting that you think of.
Thank you,
And
Brittany.
then
Just one more thing. The continuing ed schedule will be out. It's every month except for probably the mid-year in February. So we
Yes.
are going to have that quarterly and give you that schedule as we get closer to January. If you notice, it's not going to be like every third Wednesday or any fixed time, because I know many clubs meet on various times. So we are kind of moving the continuing ed sessions, different at different dates and different times, just so we can accommodate people's schedules. So.
All right. And then in the comments, Mark had asked, what suggestions do we have for members who are worried about COVID? For work with Girl Scouts, because a large population of girls that we work with are not able to be vaccinated. So there is a high concern about COVID transmission with them. We go with what the person that is most cautious worries, like what their thoughts are and what they're comfortable with. That is the policy that we use at work. Our Kiwanis Club has kind of gone a different route with doing a version of hybrid with some in person, some online. So I just suggest that you follow their wishes. That's my personal belief, is to follow the most caution person's wishes and wear masks and sanitize and all of that. So that way they can still be included, since we want to keep our members happy and included and continuing to be able to serve. Does anyone else have any suggestions on that? Please share. Barb, go ahead.
We all know it's difficult for folks to get to all the meetings, even in the perfect world, just because individuals aren't going to meetings. And if you're not able to meet online or hybrid, make sure that those members are still brought in the loop about any service projects you're doing. If you're doing a food collection, can they drop it off on somebody's porch, or can they make dog toys, or can they do stuff at home, and and still get them involved, whether it's through email. This is what we talked about. These are the upcoming events. Do you have a phone tree? I'm really dating myself by saying the word phone tree, but those are some of the things you want to make sure that they feel engaged and still have that opportunity to do the service. It's just the service may just be done in a different location.
Patty?
I'll echo what Barb was just saying. As the club secretary, my job got a lot more difficult this past year, trying to keep track. We have the Zoom meetings, but some of our members don't even have internet in their homes. So they will call in or they will not be there. So I can't just send out electronic information anymore. I've got to make sure that it goes in the mail to certain ones and then phone calls to others. It's gotten a lot more difficult, but personally, the whole situation has been great for me because I moved 25 miles away from our meeting place. So I like these Zoom meetings.
Yes, and Patty has done a phenomenal job taking on the extra workload for our club with making sure everyone is still being communicated with and able to reach the club.
Thank you. As an added note, just as the pandemic was starting, we did have an online open house and we brought in 6 new members, I think. Now we just lost one of those this past year, but the other 5 have stayed on. And honestly, there are 2 of them I've never met in person, but they like what we do and want to be part of our projects.
Yes. All right, and does anyone else have anything? If not, we'll go ahead and end the meeting tonight.
Thank you, Brittany.
Yes, thank you everyone for coming and joining us, and hopefully we see you next month.